We're starting Drush Dalet over here. There we go. Drush Dalet. Pencil. He says Hadormita Bahanisira. Let me see what we're talking about. The Knesses of Mochin Leah. In the beginning and the entering of the Mochin into Leah. Now, this apparently is also a quote from somewhere, trying to figure out how it fits together. The drush base v'dalad bevura the b'techidas halayla no felis adormita al zer anpin. See, he says like this. I know this from Shachris, right? From Shachris, we have this take place in Ava. But over here, he said, "Bedrush base v'dalad bevura b'techidas halayla." Over there, explains that felis dormita al zer anpin, and then it goes through the process. Let me see, it's over here. Let me get it back. What zun are we talking about? So that happens a long time ago. Or it happens in the future. Is this the one we know about? 1 second. So that's what we've seen before when we're talking about Yaakov and Rachel. So is it talk about Yaakov and Rachel? So you beer on the Forshim, so the Forshim want to come and tell you it's something else. The Daim Berabachach Bezun the Kele Pedimim. So okay, Bekalim Penimim. Okay, so it wouldn't be Yaakov and Rachel, because there that would be the Kalim Chitzonim. So Shala'achar Shalanimshkoch Berem HaMochin Ba'arvis. So now Mochin come into them in Arvis, and then the Mochin Mistalkim after Arvis. Mochin is there on Pin La'achar HaTefillah, and then he says that when this Histalkus of the light takes place. V'nofel b'dormita. So he's explaining something. This is the process that takes place at Marav, after Marav, v'niknas and Mochin b'Leah. And then it goes to the Mochin, which are around. They go into Leah because Rachel is, they left Rachel. V'nahasis nisira im Leah, and then the nisira takes place with Leah. Ve'eda Rachel nidchis the Bria, and the Rachel at the same time falls into Bria. V'lachem mikan ba'oso lala. Then after that, the asa Zivugim Leah. So we had in the Sira a Dormita after Mariv, and then we have a Dormita, and then in the Sira, and it was going to have to say there's going to be a yichud here. So let's see what goes on. What are we talking about? We're still wondering what we're talking about. Is it like Kosvil Maparsham? He said the Kamo K Naasis Ata Nasira Gam Bazun de Kadsha the Yom Base. So this is going to be Panemius. So Panemius is going to be Yom Base. So this is the beginning. K Naasis Ata Nasira Gam Bazun de Kadsha the Yom Base. And this is the first time that he mentioned in the last bit of Ransha that the first day is the Ach, and then the second day is the Penimi. He says that the Ach should be Yom Aleph Nimshkoch HaMochin the Ach. Ata Belel Beis Na'asis Dormita B'Techidas Halayla. Now the Dormita takes place at the beginning of the night. Now what's he talking about? And then after that, there's going to be a Nasira, and there's going to be a Bia probably, Bia Rishana, but here we see that there's a difference in this. The Mochin originally come into Rachel. She has the Mochin from Marav. The Na'asach Nasira, but the low Kamavura Bedrush Azashach Mochin Niknasa Belea, but it's not like we say, I'm not kidding. Seems like he's winding around over here a lot of different places. And it's not like what takes place of the low Kamavura Bedrush Zechel Mochin Niknas and Leah, where the Mochin go into Leah. So where are the Mochin? And at that time, the midnight, it's going to take place at midnight. So at nighttime, we're still talking about Rachel. And he says, now when we come to midnight, so wait a minute. Rachel was we were just dealing with the chitzonius of Yaakov and Rachel. But we're talking here, he says, about Kad Shaus. So we're coming to the second day. But I would think, over here, the second day is a whole 24 hours. So here, he says, according to, if that is talking about the Kad Shaus, which maybe it is, he says that you're talking about this taking place right away at the beginning of the second day. So then after Chatzos, what happens is Mochin upon him come into Zeranpin, who bind up as called kumas upon him, and he builds that I don't know the who is, it builds up called kumas upon him, the nook. Oh, that makes more sense. So therefore, with these Mochin that come into him at midnight, he's able to build up the whole panemius of the moch, called Yom Beis, and it takes place over the entire length of Yom Beis. The Mochin is Boil El Siman Beis. Okay, so this is the first time that we're seeing that what's happening. It starts at nighttime. We're still talking about the Kad Shaus of Rachel and Yaakov. So he says that this actually starts taking place at midnight, where you start to get the panemius for the next day. Comes in at that time. But starting at midnight. I don't know exactly how it works. So Zivug Yaakov Leah b'chatzos alayda v'yeridis Rachel Abria. So this is a topic that we are familiar with to some extent. And he says like this. So according to what we've explained here, V'dibra hakodim navim b'meida demash and nizkor od b'drush zecher shebalayla yeredis Rachel Abria. Will we say that? The v'chatzos alayda in the Asa Zivug the Yaakov Leah. He said, Hakavanot the Yaakov Leah, the Zuna Pratim, the Yom HaKodim. So in other words, it's once again the Panemius of the Panemi, or the Panim, I don't know which word to use here, Hakavanot the Yaakov Leah, the Zuna Pratim, the Yom HaKodim. Mitzad the Kelim Panemim. So this is going to be dealing with the Kelim Panemim. Shechoyzed lachem mashach lachem chedek machamochem b'kriya shema ulamita. That's what happens is that now when you say Kriya Shema Lamita, you're bringing in these Mochin, a Mizdavgim b'chatzos, and then the Yichud takes place at Chatzos Alayla. So let's see what it says. It's a little bit down below. I'm not sure that I understood it 100%. Let's see if we can. V'kosar Sham b'tzedek v'shalom. Then Asa ke'esh shnei Zivugim the Yaakov Leah. There's two different Yichudim that take place here. So that's going to take place on the second day, just like it took place in the first day. But here we're talking about Kelim Panimim. And the second one, that's going to actually take place too. So we're going to see a Drush on Tikkun Chatzos. The Sham Mavura that Zivug the Leah who's Zivug Gomer Loholeda. So this Yichud that takes place at this time is going to be a complete and total Yichud. Valkarchoch the Koden the Ched. So therefore it has to be before that. Nasagam Zivug the Bia Rishona, that you must have had a Zivug the Bia Rishona. Now these are all ideas, different ideas. It's hard to put them all together, but he said this is where it's going. That was number Ches. So moving back up to where we were. Ulam das asada. What's the sada say? Hakavanot the Yaakov Leah the Kadshah the Yom Gimel. Now we're coming around to the Yom Gimel. Now we know the Yichud takes place on Yom Gimel. The Yichud the Holeda takes place at Tachnun, or they say other places Sim Shalom, but it means Tachnun at the time of Nefilas Apayim. Sha'oz, you read this Rachel Labia, because now back at midnight, let me read again. Das is saw the Hakavanot the Yaakov Leah the Kadshah the Yom Gimel. On the third day, Sha'oz, you read this Rachel Labia Levara Berurim, then Rachel goes down, then the Asa Zivugim Leah, the Yichud takes place in Leah. Well, let's see what else it says in Mashma Mefarshman. from the point of view of the Mefarshim. Shezivug zechad the Yaakov Leah na'aseh b'chatzos halayla, whose zivug gomer luchalei, that yichud is not just the yichud of what's he called, the kli v'rucha, but it's also it's the ultimate yichud. Meaning came zechu zivug noisif, so that if that's the case, it's an additional yichud that's taking place at this time. Anaseh b'chatzos halayla. Milvad zivug the kli v'rucha, not counting, not just that, but not counting the yichud of kli v'rucha, hana'asa hu b'chatzos halayla. So he says at chatzos halayla you have two different things happening. One is a yichud for bia rishona, and the other one is a yichud for holeda. Now, okay, so like you're reading along, you say, with all of these different ideas, all these things going on at the same time, it's a little overwhelming. The Bekama Bekomos is the problem here on Drush Dal Delilah, the Drush Shinu Tefilus, we might have been in there. For Isa the Be'eza Zivug the Yaakov Leah Bechatzos halayla, Shir Komasam Hu Kashir Kol Kumas Azer Anpen. Now that's the way that I would understand it. Ve'eda B'makom Acher, but there's another place. Bevur the Shir Kumasam Oz at that time, who rock Bahacha Mechachasa Dezal, Lamata Bilvad is only not from the whole Kuma of Zer Anpen, but only from their normal places. Well, that's not the normal place for Leah. Leah's normal place, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but he's saying it. He says because Leah's normal place is from the Chaz Lamala. Now he says that the Yichud is taking place from the Chaz Lamata. The Bira Meforshim, so now trying to understand this, the Meforshim say the Chaziva, the Bia Rishon, the Dezun, the Kachal. He says now you're coming to the first Yichud, which would be the second day. And Naaseh b'chatzos halayla, which takes place at midnight. Naaseh b'shir ora kol kuma zer anpen, it takes place in the whole length of zer anpen. Uve'etzem zivug zecha b'chu zivug de Yaakov Rachel. Now you can look at it, you could say that this is a yichud of Yaakov Rachel if you're dealing with kadshos. Masha kora l'Rachel b'shem Leah. So wait a minute, he says this actually is taking place with Yaakov and Rachel. He says, but it says that it's taking place with Yaakov and Leah. So which one is it? And also, Leah is not below the Chazeh, unless she's the whole Kuma of Zer Anpen, I would say, but that's not what's being said exactly. So he said, the relief for the Shirachel Omedes Eis Gamba Chazeh Lamalashu Makom Amidis Leah. So she's also finds herself, I'm not sure exactly what it means. It sounds like some kind of, astrological explanation. Who the fisha Rachel Omedes Ke'es at the same time, or she was there, or there's an aspect of her that's still there, like a Rishimo. I don't know. I can't explain it. Ke'es Gamba Chazal Lamala. She's still in that place. Shulha b'makom amidus Leah, which is the way that Leah speak, according to the Man de Omer, whatever it is that's saying this idea. Ba'al Kain Nikros al Shema, so therefore, since she's still there, it's called by her name. V'hu milvad hazivug de Yaakov Leah. That's not counting. He says the zivug de Yaakov Leah mechachos l'matach na'asa af kubechatzos, which also takes place at chatzos. Well, I have to say that that's a little bit difficult for me. What else could I say? So he's introducing many different variations on which yichudim are taking place at what time and where. What day? Third day, second day. So here's this word masmid, in other words, continuous. Ad or haboker, that this yichud, once it starts at midnight, it continues a long yichud. Yesh ta'ayin be'ez zivug mari. So back to the same idea again. What yichud are you talking about? He says, shuhu masmid v'chodach mechatzos alayda de boker. De'im al zivug de bia rishon de zun. So if you're talking about the bia rishon de zun, the kadshah hakolal, halacha bezivugim mistayim takef acharat cells, because of this little fact that maybe you didn't know, He said the yichud that takes place at the zone. Let's read again. The im al azivug debia rishon the zone the kadsha hakolo halach the zivugim mistayim takef achra atzos. So you hit atzos. You had a yichud there with the zun, which I guess would be Yaakov and Rachel of kadshaos hakolo. Below Zivugim mistayim takef halon Zivugim mistayim takef achra atzos. So it can't be that. V'chozer the makoma the nishachan the mochin upon him, and then they leave. And that leaves, and then it comes the Mochin upon him. I think he means to say, I'm not sure 100%. So he said, take it achra sos, choser the makomom, they go back to their place, and now, because it's a Katzos time, the Mochin upon him come in, I guess. Reading again. The Chazivug, the Yaakov, the Leah, the Caleb Benimim, so that's a Caleb Benimim, which would be the second day. He said the Zivug Zerah Benimshach Meratzos is a boker, and also says that. He says over there, he said, Ratzal Omer, the Hakavanot, the Zivug Yaakov, the Leah, the Ben Dema. Let's talk about that. We said that the Ben Dema are the Mochin that come in of the yichud of God Shalos Pratim. So looking at it in more detail, what actually is coming into it's the female aspect of masculinity. Shezaman mechatzos ad boker says Shezamano that its time takes place that whole period of time. So that must be what they're talking about, and so that's where I'm going to stop here. That's all I prepared. This going a little faster than I thought. Now, it's a lot of vagaries about all these different times that there's going on today. I think today is the 14th of Elul. Okay, so let's make a mark there, and a mark there. And Mitzvah Shem will see Drush tomorrow.